today, folks, we're diving headfirst into a topic that's sure to ruffle some feathers. We're talking about the most overrated players in football history. That's right, we're calling out the legends, the icons, the guys who've been put on a pedestal for far too long. We're separating the hype from reality, the myth from the man. We're starting from number 7 and working our way to the top spot, the absolute king of overrated. So buckle up, grab your jerseys, and maybe some tissues, you might need them, because this is going to be good. Let's dive in. Dida, the Brazilian Wall, the goalkeeper who never conceded a hat trick. Sounds impressive, right? Well, let me ask you this. How many shots did he actually have to face? Dida played behind some of the greatest defenses in football history. For Brazil, he had Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Lucio, and the phenomenal Ronaldo Nazario to bail him out. At AC Milan, he had the legendary pairing of Maldini and Nesta, along with Gattuso and Pirlo bossing the midfield. Good luck even getting a shot on target with that kind of protection. In 1999, Milan conceded a measly 19 goals in Serie A. 19 goals. That's not just good defending, that's practically impenetrable. Dida was a good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but he was the beneficiary of playing in an era of defensive dominance. He was a human shield, shielded from true greatness by the brilliance of his teammates. Marco van Basten. 3 Ballon d'Ors before the age of 28. Sounds impressive, right? Well, hold your horses, folks, because context is everything. Van Basten played in the 80s, a time when South American players were practically excluded from the Ballon d'Or conversation. His competition, limited to Europe. Let's look at the names. Ruud Gullit, Lothar Matthaus, Franco Baresi. Those were his main rivals. And guess what? AC Milan, Van Basten's team, dominated Serie A in the European Cup during that era. So really, his competition boiled down to Gullit and Baresi. And here's the kicker. When you've got a striker, a defender, and a midfielder in the running, 9 times out of 10, the striker's going to win. It's the nature of the award. Van Basten was a great player, no doubt. But let's not pretend he was competing against the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, and Maradona for those Ballon d'Ors. The playing field was far from level. Kylian Mbappe, the supposed heir apparent to the throne. The next big thing. Well, I've got news for you. The emperor has no clothes. Mbappe is a flat-track bully, feasting on lesser competition in Ligue 1. But when the lights are brightest in the Champions League, in La Liga, at the Euros, he disappears, ghosts, vanishes like a magician's assistant. Everyone wants to crown him after that hat trick against Argentina. But let's be real, 2 of those were penalties. 1 good goal, the volley, and suddenly he's the second coming? Please! Mbappe is a one-trick pony, relying on his pace to blow past defenders in a league that's slower than molasses in January. He's got potential, I'll grant you that. But until he proves he can perform consistently against the best, he's nothing more than a highlight reel waiting to happen. Erling Haaland, the Norwegian goal machine. The second coming of, well, someone who can actually finish consistently. Let me break this down for you folks, because this one's simple. Erling Haaland is a system striker. He's a product of the talent surrounding him, not the other way around. You think any average Joe off the street could bang in goals with Kevin De Bruyne putting it on a platter for him, with Foden and Grealish dancing around defenders? Even for Norway, he's got Odegaard feeding him the ball. Put Haaland on a team with average midfielders and I guarantee you, his goal tally plummets. Look at Lukaku at Chelsea. World class for Belgium, but in the Premier League, struggled mightily. Why? Because he didn't have De Bruyne. Vlahovic, Morata, Endrick, Muani, any of those guys could put up Haaland numbers with that kind of... Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Pepe wasn't a good defender. He was solid, dependable even. But here's the thing. Pepe benefited from the greatest supporting cast a defender could ask for. He played alongside Sergio Ramos, the greatest defender of all time, and I will not be taking questions at this time. And let's not forget Iker Casillas, arguably the greatest goalkeeper to ever grace the pitch. With those 2 backing him up, of course Pepe looked good. But go online, look at the hype. People calling him a true teammate, showing compilations of him making reckless tackles after an opponent breathes on Ramos the wrong way. That's not good defending, that's just being aggressive. Sergio Ramos could do all that and make crucial interceptions, goal line clearances, tackles in the box when it mattered. Pepe, he was 30 yards out, trying to take someone's head off. Pelé, the name is synonymous with football legend, the man who supposedly scored over 1,000 goals, the 3-time World Cup winner. But let's be honest folks, we're talking about a different era, a different game entirely. Pelé played before the 1970s, before total football, before the professionalization and globalization of the sport. He was playing against farmers, policemen, and part-time athletes. The competition was, to put it mildly, not exactly fierce. And let's not forget, Pelé spent the majority of his career in Brazil, a country with a rich footballing history, but one that was relatively isolated from the European powerhouses. He rarely, if ever, tested himself against the best players in the world on a consistent basis. Pelé was undoubtedly a talented player, but to compare him to modern greats who compete in a truly global game, against the best athletes in the world, week in and week out, that's simply not a fair comparison. He was a big fish in a small pond, and his legend has been inflated over time by nostalgia and a lack of context. Lionel Messi. The name is practically synonymous with greatness, right? The dribbling wizard, the magician with the ball at his feet. But let me tell you something, folks, and I'm not whispering this. Lionel Messi is the most overrated player in the history of football. You want to talk about his 4 Champions League titles? Please. 2006, he barely played. 2009, Chelsea got robbed. A disgrace. A complete and utter disgrace. Jose Mourinho said it himself, Barcelona was playing dirty. 2011, again, questionable refereeing. The only UCL title he can truly claim is 2015, and even then, Neymar was carrying the team. And don't even get me started on the golden boots. Yeah, 2012 was impressive, I'll give him that. But from 2016 to 2019, all those goals came after the real Barcelona legends left. He had the field to himself. More chances, more goals, more hype. It's not rocket science, people. And let's not forget those embarrassing Champions League exits against Roma and Liverpool. Bottled it. Choked. This is supposed to be the GOAT? This is why I'm telling you Messi only deserves maybe 3 Ballon d'Ors. We'll discuss that travesty another time, but the bottom line is this. Messi is good, yes, but comparing him to Cristiano Ronaldo? Asking who the real GOAT is? That's not just wrong, it's a crime against football. There you have it, folks. The top 7 most overrated players in football history. We've called out the legends, exposed the myths, and separated the hype from reality. But this is just the beginning of the conversation. Do you agree with our list? Did we miss anyone?